and to the rest of the tribe. Good morning, and how are you guys? To my sister, who is one of my biggest fans. To all the progeny, young and old, so far. But yeah, so that's been up on Instagram. So don't forget to like our Instagram page at Bitten Peaches. And on YouTube, where Chris Chrisman Dose, that's four, but Dose is working his magic as the technomancy over there. And we have our YouTube channel, so please like, subscribe, and share that. We don't have that many people yet, but we know this is a long haul. So get on YouTube and follow us. And then you can say, I was there when they were just starting. So once again, if you see our YouTube channel and you see the ad, kind of like the adverts, like the notices that the next mob event is coming, that's all Chris Chrisman working his technomancy. So shout out to Chris Chrisman for doing that amazing work. Davina wants to know if we're allowed to talk about Dark Glass. Sure, we can talk about anything. Just if you're gonna say a spoiler, just say spoiler alert. But we can talk about anything. Hello, Sweet Cocoa, which is Tanya, if I'm not mistaken. You should be getting peaches soon. Um, yeah, even the coffee mug. This is an old marble coffee mug. Um, Craig, Dragon. So no branding fail. This is an old marble cup. This is an old Iron Man. It's the original Iron Man. Let's see who I might have missed. Mary Beth, good morning. Chris Mendoza, good morning. I know you're out there. So yeah. So sure, Davina, do you have questions? Does anyone have questions about Dark Glass? I'm kind of like, where am I? I'm kind of wrapping up Blood Rule. So over the weekend and probably early next week, because I had to take some days off this week. Blood Rule should be done. So then I'm jumping into Dark Glass. Yeah, I had this hat made when the first time I went to London, I want to say. It's pretty awesome. It's a golfing hat made by Nike. But also, the company is called Queensboro, which John Logsdon turned me on to. Good morning, Mark Rollison. Welcome. Yes, I have coffee mugs on. Yeah, but all the coffee mugs on ZAZZLE, Craig, El Dragon, are too small. My average size is this. This is average size for me. The coffee mugs on ZAZZLE are like teacups. Are you kidding me? No. When they can make 52-ounce mugs, then we're talking. I'll even settle for a 45-ounce. Okay. Malcolm, when did I turn to the dark side? See, here's the thing. I never turned to the dark side. The dark side was always there, Malcolm. All right, Davina, spoiler. So is anyone else wondering how the Cecilia situation will play out with Darth Monty? Yes. Will he still be remembering his apprentice? Because evil CC sounds scary. Oh, that's a good one. I already have considered that because we can't have a Dark or Darth Monty making his apprentice a Sith. So there would be things in play to kind of combat that because Cecilia can't go evil because that would really be dangerous. Not to mention in the Moscow, which is a building, but also with her branch of the family. Let's just say she can't go dark. And why did I do that to you? So, like I was telling the art, I got to, and I was telling Dolly this too, as I'm writing the story, I'm like on chapter. So first of all, my chapters usually run around 1,000 words, usually 1,000, 1,200. So I usually get about 50 chapters a book because I write around 50K. I don't write long, right? But here I am on chapter 20, 22, and I'm about 30K in. So my chapters are getting really long. And there's no real seamless way to break the chapters to make them shorter, but to keep the continuity. It gets weird. They kind of have to be long. So I'm around 20, now I'm around chapter 24, 25. And I'm like, wait a minute, this looks like I'm hitting pretty much the end point because you can tell how a story is progressing, the pace and the rhythm, and you can tell when it's about to hit a natural conclusion. It has a natural arc. So I'm near chapter 27. I'm saying, okay, I tell Dolly, I think it has to kind of end not so much on a cliffhanger, but on kind of like this is what's going to happen in the next book because it's too much left to put it into one book. So I got to the end of the collie part, and it was like, yeah, that's kind of has to end there with the introduction of Jessica and the Black Orchid and what happens afterwards. But the story has to continue from there. This part has to end here, or else I have to go into the next book. So it was rough. It was rough to be able to stop it because I didn't want to do another Blood and Sticker. Those of you that were here for the original Blood and Sticker ending will remember how much of a cliffhanger that really was. The orb was coming, the goat was melting. That was pretty much it. He's gonna be around for I want to say 1 to 2 books. Davina, the evil Monty, because he's got to get through this darkness. So yeah, hello Dolly from wherever you are. Hello. Cecilia can't go dark. One, she's too young, and if she goes dark, oh, Monty would be in so much trouble because she's been entrusted to him, Stacy. So she can't go dark, and two, she's too powerful to go dark. That the power that she has comes into play around book 21, much later on. So she can't go dark. So don't worry about that. So what would Ezra serve him now? Wisdom. What else would Ezra serve him? Oh, regarding my ending, a likely excuse. I used to worry about cliffhangers, but I don't. I don't worry about cliffhangers because I write fast. One, those of you that are coming into this now, yes, I feel for you because it is rough. You have to kind of wait for the next book. But imagine someone who was, some of you who've been here from the beginning, from Tomb Yards and Butterflies. And so when you were getting each book as it was happening. Because someone who comes to the Monty Strong world now finds a ton of stories to get into. I mean, you find, just with Monty Strong, you get 11 books. Like, boom, right there. But imagine if you were there from Tomb Yards and Butterflies, like some of you were, and you were getting the books as they were coming out. You were actually seeing the world be created. It's so awesome. Yeah, 2 books, Stacy, because the next book is called Walking the Razor, which is Monty that really dealing with it, and the next book after that is called Requiem, and it's more Simon focused. So yeah, maybe 2 books. Yeah, Dolly. If CC goes dark, she urges in a new ice age. No, that can happen. So no. Malcolm, unlike Sepia's what? Books? Sepia doesn't have a cliffhanger. Sepia ended, the third book ended. It left you, of course, wondering what was next, but not with the immediacy of um, Dark Glass. Dark Glass was kind of like, whoa. Not as bad as, let's say, Blood is Sticker. Blood is Sticker is the only real, aside from the Chico Search, I already told you guys, those 3 books, those actually 2 books, when you think about it, were written that way to be cliffhangers, hill huggers. Good morning, welcome. Aside from those 2 books, Sepia wasn't written as a cliffhanger. It's just that Monty interrupted the Sepia series, so that's what happened. And I had to write Monty Strong. There was really no choice. It was nagging me. The story was nagging me to the point where it was like I couldn't write anything else. So I've been a little bit more disciplined and mature about writing series a bit, not much, but I don't let other series take over series now. Now I'll just address each series. But back then it was just like, oh, I gotta write Monty Strong now. Look, new, shiny, that kind of thing. And so Monty Strong took over. It has been a long, fun, strange journey, Chris. It's so true. And yeah, Darren, and I used to say it back in the beginning with Two Million Butterflies that I wanted you to learn about these characters the way you would learn about a person. A person doesn't come to you and just dumps their whole life in your lap. You start learning about them little by little, gradually over time, and that's what I wanted to do with Monty and Strong and everyone in the Monty and Strong world. I keep getting someone on the ads keeps getting irked because you know how some of the ads have like Gray and Coda or Simon and Michigo. Someone named Jan keeps telling me this is misleading. This is not Monty and Strong, and I keep telling her it's the Monty and Strong world. There are a lot of people in the Monty and Strong world. It's okay. So I'm gonna have to address that at some point. Good morning, Dan. How are you? Uh, Davina says, I liked it better before you fixed it. A brew and chew Pokemon spin out. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Mew. I saw the Mew. Yeah. Let's see. Monty Strikes Back. No, it's not gonna be Monty Strikes Back. Even though I really enjoyed Empire Strikes Back. Right, Chris. Yeah, Chris says Sepia ended with closure, sort of. She did end with closure, sort of, and that's why you don't see her in Dark Glass because she's still dealing with the issue of becoming the Jade demon, and there's a lot there that she has to go through, but she'll get through it. Don't worry. Morning, Rob. Welcome. Um, no, they're not gonna let Cecilia anywhere near. Stacy's not gonna let anywhere near Dark Monty. She's too young, and he's too powerful. Rise of the Montague Craig. Yes, Davina, Stacy, we're gonna have Razor, which I'm gonna get working on starting next week because Blood Rule will be done next week, and it goes to the art. Then I start working on Razor, and right after Walk Razor, which will give you some sort of closure, I'm hitting Sepia because Sepia does have to get done. So, and I know Dolly gives me the best eye roll when I say, you know what, I should really focus on Monty and Strong. She's like, duh. So, but I have to finish Sepia because there are readers who've been waiting for Sepia, and I don't want to pull a GRRM. So yeah. Oh, hey John, good morning. Tell Paulette I said hello. And yes, this is my Corona face. I'm bearding. I mean, I was growing it in before, but I haven't had much time to groom. So yeah. No, no, no. So Malcolm, here's how it's gonna be. Gonna get Razor, and that'll kind of give it some closure. It'll lean towards where the story's going. Then I gotta do the sepias, and then Requiem. Blackjack has to be fit in there somewhere, and Zephyr, and there's a whole bunch of stories that are out there that need to get done. So yeah, Ava James, as Malcolm says. Ooh, that would be nice, Davina, but I don't think Monty's gonna be too concerned with trying to get Cecilia. His power will dwarf hers, and he's not really go for her. There's other things at play that are gonna be motivating Monty, and Simon's gonna have to make some serious choices. It's a really great pivotal point because it sets off a chain reaction, and some really big bad guys are starting to. They're not starting to come into play. They're starting to reveal themselves. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, I think I have to have 8 years for. Yeah, I'm not going to wait that long. Even Jim took 5, and that's. I can't imagine waiting 5 years to write a book, to write a story. I would forget the story. John, tell Paulette I say many thank yous. Yes. The clock is still running on Wednesday. Really? Is it? Oh yeah, Rothfuss is still right. It's what is it now? Is it 10 years? Yeah. Malcolm, I've noticed. Malcolm, Ava has a trilogy that I have to finish, so she's gonna get hers done. Don't worry. You are definitely forgiven. Please focus on driving. Bye, darling. Yeah, I didn't realize it was. Uh, so here's the thing, as a reader, like I picked up Peace Talks and I pre-ordered Battleground because I like Dresden. I read the first few chapters of Peace Talks. For me, I read it from two perspectives. I read it as a reader and I read it as a writer. As a reader, I enjoyed the story, like where it was going. As a writer, I could see that Jim had spent too much time away from the characters. because they started feeling a little bit stilted. So I waited. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because I'll wait until Battleground is out because I know he wrote both books at once and they're just releasing it as a marketing thing. But this is what happens when you take too much time away. Like I'm really going to have to dive deep into Sepia just to make sure that her voice is where it needs to be when I write the story. Plus, when I was writing Sepia was writing it in third person when I was writing it, and I write first person now. So I'm gonna have to either make a real hard choice about making Sepia's go back to third person to keep that continuity, or change the focus of the last two books so that it's Sepia telling the story. So I'm really considering that too. And I might even run that by the mob first to see how they feel. Yeah, Craig, that would have been a good play, but it doesn't happen until later on, something like that. He wasn't close enough, and he couldn't act fast enough, and he's not. What Craig is saying is that the shield bearer should have pulled the schism into himself and sacrificed some or all of his inherent power to save Monty, but he wasn't close enough. He's not well versed enough in what it means to be a shield bearer, and so that's why he didn't act the way he needed to act when the time came. Let's see. Oh, let me make sure I got because I don't have Dolly now, so I'm a little bit you know I used to do this all alone, but now I have Dolly and Dolly is awesome. But now it's just me today and Peaches. So let me get back to the stuff. Okay, these are announcements. Don't forget to visit our ZAZZLE store. Dolly's been making like all kinds of amazing things. I don't know if you saw Stacy's mask. That mask is awesome. So please go to the ZAZZLE store, the M&S ZAZZLE store, and get your swag. Let's see, upcoming projects. You guys know about Dark Glass, Walking the Razor, Blood Rule is going to be ready next week. So the art for next week open for Blood Rule. Walking the Razor starts next week. I'll take a long break of maybe a day or two before books, and then I'll jump into Walking the Razor because it's really fresh and I want to really get that story going. And plus Dex and it's going to be a lot of fun. You got LD and TK in there, so that's those. When those three are in a story, it's like incredible. As for audiobooks, we have. Let me see. Dolly sent me the order because I always screw up the order. Okay, Homecoming is done. I think it's going to be approved soon. Dragons and Demigods is also done, and I think it's in the last parts of production. Bullets Blades it's in production, followed by Hell Has No Fury. So we're up to book 8 in audiobooks. So book 8 is those books aren't out. What's out is 1 through 5. 5 will be out soon, and 6. 7 and 8 are in production. So Bullets and Blades, Hell Has No Fury, those are in production for the audiobooks right now because Kevin is busy. But even during the whole pandemic, he's been really busy. So let me go back to the timer. So it's been amazing to have him be able to do it. All right. So let's see what else we got. I have questions, but I'll leave those for the end for our question time. Let's see what do we have here. Bye, Pat. Have a great day. Stay safe. Um, yeah, Davina, I don't know. It's just even as strong as Monty is right now, and he's going to be plenty strong. I don't know if he's a match for the combined might of Dex, TK, and LD. And don't forget, Dex could always ask the Morgans to step in. So, yes, Stacy. Here's the thing. All right, we're talking about Jim Butcher's about peace talks. I think it's one of two things, and I try to be conscious of it and wary of it at the same time. When you write, as a writer, as an author, you don't want to leave such a big gap between books, which is my main concern with Sepia, because they lose the flow. The readers lose the flow of how the character sounds. which is one of the reasons why I might go first person with the last two books, because it's almost like it's restarting the series in a way. But also, as the author, you kind of have you have a tendency to lose the voice of the characters, and this is what I saw in Peace Talks. Like I was excited to get Peace Talks, and like I said, I pre-ordered Battleground, and when I started reading it, I was like, something's not right. Something feels off. I mean, I'm gonna read them both, but we'll see. So that's something that I'm most conscious of when I have a lot of series out there that aren't complete. Malcolm says, spoiler, the box is the answer to the problem. You have to think inside the box, Malcolm. And Dan says, is the 10 show story still coming? Yes, of course. The 10 has to happen. That's good. Think of the 10 as they are within their own time. They don't fit anywhere. They're like before Monty and Strong, so they're almost like prequels, but they'll also occur in the midst of the Monty and Strong occurrences, because the 10 are clandestine. They do their own thing without involving Monty. They're the 10, and they're rogue, and so they don't answer to anyone, and they take on these things and they do it. And sometimes you get 5 of the 10, 3 of the 10, 2 of the 10, maybe even 1 of the 10. But the 10 operate independently of things that are impacting Monty and Strong's world. Let's see. Stacy says, ZAZZLE story is incredible right now. That's all Dolly. Dolly has taken that story and turned it around. It looks amazing. Let's see. Purpose. Yeah, Davina. See, here's the thing. Monty's been dabbling with the dark side of magic for a little, so it was time that he kind of take that jump and go over the dark side. Inside the box is a mirror showing you that the answer is you. No, Craig, there is something inside the box. There's something in the box for sure, Davina. Yeah. No, they wouldn't be combining a reckoning. You're right, but they're still stronger than Monty. Even in this darker, although I said that Monty would probably be stronger than Dex, but I don't think he could be stronger than TK. TK is really powerful. Audrey asks, how do I feel about the Zeke's Badlands wrap up? Which one? When I stopped at book 3 or when John stopped at book 5? Mary asks, are there going to be more Gideon Shepherd books? Yes. I have Craig the Dragon and a few others who will basically act as my soundboards for those books, because there's no magic, it's all tech. So I have to really sit down. I already have the next 3 books planned out for the Gideon Shepherd series, and I have to sit down, get the story outlined, and I'll have some conversations with resident gurus on weapons and things like that. So yes, starting with Craig the Dragon. Okay, Malcolm says, I gave up on Dresden before Skin Game came out. Just so many good folks. Thank you, Malcolm. I appreciate it, but don't give up on Jim. He's a great writer, and although many people say he's the father of urban fantasy, that's not really true. If you want to really think about who the father of urban fantasy would be, you'd have to go back to like Bram Stoker, who started Dracula, and those writers that's really where urban fantasy even though it's more gothic and a little horror, urban fantasy kind of mixes all those in. So you have to go back to Bram for the father of that. Who's angry? Somebody wrote. Hello, Janelle. Welcome. If I missed anyone, I apologize. The feed goes by quick. Davina says, not after Razor and Sepia. Yeah, that's the order, guys. It's Razor's next, and then the Sepias. And then I'll jump into whatever comes after. Because I have until... Right now, I'm looking at the schedule, and I just have... Yeah, after the Sepias is the next Gray and Coda. Right, Warren? Let's see. Mark says, any chance of a story arc like Chi on Sid Rat Designer? Yes, there's a whole series called The Designers, Mark, that will feature Nina, who's a designer, and Sid Rat, the lead designer. They have a whole series of their own. You're gonna see. I don't know if it's neither. You see Sid, if not in this book with Monty in Walking the Razor, you'll see Sid. Yes, Malcolm. Monty would have few inhibitions at the moment, so there would be things the others wouldn't do. But TK is lethal, so she would do whatever she needs to do to stop him. And so, see, here's the thing about TK and LD and most of the 10. They're not necessarily good mages or bad. They're kind of neutral. They do whatever they need to do to get the job done, which is why they don't belong to any sect. And when you think about it, they're almost a sect unto themselves. But with LD and TK pretty much at the helm of that, because they're kind of like the de facto leaders, along with Dex, who's not part of the 10, but he could be part of the 10. They don't really adhere to many rules, so they do whatever they need to do to get the job done. So that's so dangerous because they don't adhere to rules. They'll do what needs to be done. Audrey says, Badlands, the end. Oh, book 5. Will you miss Zeke? Yes, I will miss Zeke. I had to stop at book 3 because, as you can see, my schedule is just so free these days. And it was better that way, but I like the way it ended. And John, I know I haven't read book 5 yet. I'm still on book 4 because I wanted to be completely surprised. So I'm on book 4. Don't spoil book 5 for me, please. But I know John's gonna do a great job because John writes really well. So yeah. Dan Fong wants to know, who are the council of, have all the members been revealed yet? As he was speaking of LD and TK power levels, how does Silk rate on that scale? Ooh, Dan with the question. So Craig, let me go back to Craig. Urban fantasy started as a modern setting for horror. Yes, I think so. Yeah, like Gothic light, urban fantasy started and kind of evolved into its own genre in a way. Okay, Dan, Council Light, Honor and Company. I can't tell you too much more than that for like a whole bunch of books that are gonna come out because they're all mounting strong later. They'll be coming out later. Let's see. And where does Great Silk eventually is revealed as one of the 10. That's all I can tell you. Okay, so Malcolm says, so 10 are gray mage, kind of like that. Yeah, if you wanted to think about where they would be, I guess they're gray mages in that sense. Yeah, not like Gandalf the Grey, but gray mages where they don't really adhere to either one. Let's see. Davina says Monty could become more like the 10. He's sort of been heading that way, not light or dark, just practical. Basically, yeah, he could. Definitely, Davina. Right, Craig. If you want to think about, they wouldn't necessarily be chaotic neutral, but they would be neutral. I guess just true neutral, where they would do what needs to get done to fulfill the mission. Hello, welcome. Is there a favorite book that I've written? Yeesh, that's a good question. Let's see, a favorite book that I've written. Wow, hold on, that's gonna require some death wish. I'm gonna save that question for the latter half of this, of the mock TV. So I'll let my brain think about it in the meantime. But that's a great question. Thank you. Great question, Barbara. Let's see. Are there any plans for another PPD series with John? I'm sure John has a bunch of PPD series that he wants to do. I will not be collaborating with them because you guys want to see sepia and other things. Yeah, PPD series is not happening with me involved. I'm a strong supporter of all PPD. Not just my series. Anything John, Ben, Eric, Noah, anything they write, I'm a strong supporter of. And there are other authors that I support all the time. But when it comes to collaborations, it just takes too much time from my schedule. So I can't do any collaborations right now. Or in the near future. I don't see it happening. Yeah, Stacy says Simon won't want her help if it puts Monty in danger. Yes, Simon is gonna have to do a lot of the heavy lifting on this one. Yeah. Malcolm, that goes without saying. The last two bad books in the Badland PPDC. I know that because I consulted on them, so I know they rock. I don't know the details, but I consulted with John on the last two PPD books and where the story was going. So I know for a fact that they rock. So if you haven't picked up the last two, please do, so you can get the whole series. Davina says, will the Light Council get involved with Darth Monty? Yes, I just want more Honor. Yes, Honor will have to make an appearance in Walking the Razor, because if you realize in the beginning of Michigo's story, Honor alluded to a few things, and now that Monty has gone dark, the Light Council is going to have to step in a bit more. Also because there's instability in the Dark Council until Michigo gets a hold of things. Hello, Sharon. Darren wants to know, is book 5 out? I don't think book 5 is out yet. I think it's up for pre-order, Darren. So if you can get it, I think it's out at the end of this month. I think the 31st, if I'm not mistaken. But I do believe it's out on pre-order. So grab it on pre-order. Sharon, the family's well. Dolly's out. And the other ones, the little ones are in class. So, yeah. Book 6 of what? Of the PPD? I don't see a book 6 happening. No, you didn't miss it, Darren. Yes, Davina. Dex is definitely chaotic neutral and makes no kind of excuses or gives any explanations for his way of being. He's like, just deal with it. For sure. Oh, John says, Chris says, you and I, John, were great, but what's the but? And that sounds like a John joke. Yeah, pretty much. I agree. Yeah, in the way that a good deed or bad, whatever is needed to preserve everything, they're gonna try and find I won't say the path of least resistance, but whatever makes the most sense to get it done. That kind of defines the 10. Heather wants to know, will we be meeting any surviving other side mages from the war? That's a good question, Heather. So if you read the Michigo story and you meet the character in the second book, is it the second book? I think it's second, or maybe it's this book. I think it's this book. You're starting to see characters from the war. You have to read the Rule of the Council. I'm sorry, not the Michigo story. Ooh, I'm completely sorry. I mixed threads there. Dark Glass has, at the end of Dark Glass, you see a character from the war that served with Monty in the war. Yeah. Oh, Eminence 6 is his favorite. I wonder why. I wonder why book 6 is your favorite, Craig. Wouldn't have anything to do with dragons. So I have complete deniability for any chapter 34 in the Badlands. It's in the clause. Spock as a mage. I don't think that's gonna happen. Dan, just put. You know what you do? You send Dolly a PM. I think who did this? Davina might have done this. Stacy might have done it. You send her a PM of what you want in the ZAZZLE, and she gets it eventually. That's how you got the Peaches mask, and I think the Dive T-shirt. So yeah. Yes, I cross streams. No, because in my head right now, Stacy, I'm writing Blood Rule, but Blood Rule impacts what's happening in Dark Glass. What happened in Dark Glass, or what's happening in Dark Glass and Walking the Razor. The last book, Blood Rule, kind of bridges those two, so they're very interlocked. They're interlaced. So yes, I cross streams there, but that's okay because I can cross streams in my own world, and that's okay. And make sure we have enough time. Wow, this time is going by fast. Okay, we still got 20 minutes before I get to the questions. Audrey, the question queen, has given us some questions, so that's awesome too. So I hope it wasn't too much of a hill hugger, Dark Glass. I had a feeling it was going to be tough. This is why I warned the art. I don't think I warned the mob, but I did warn the art. So Davina wants to know. That's a good one. Any luck on solving the issue where there aren't enough Peaches plushies in existence? Yeah, that's a tough one. That one, I'm gonna have to refer you to our head plushie person, which is Dolly. So you're gonna have to speak to her. She's working on the Peaches plushie stuff. So, oh, and Dolly really works with you. Yeah, Dolly really works with me. In fact, I sit right here. I'm gonna show you where Dolly sits. That she sits right here. So yeah, we have this big L desk, and we divide the desk. So we have a clear delineation where my chaos ends and her chaos begins. Yeah, so for sure. So Davina, send Dolly a PM. And I know she's really looking into it because she wants everyone to have peaches. There's not enough peaches in the world. Audrey wants to know, do I have outlines, flowcharts, etc. for my stories? Yes, I always outline the stories. I have books, little like pad books. I'll show you. There's always one on my desk. I have books like this. You see all the tabs? So I have books like these full of the outlines. And I outline first and then I kind of follow the outline. Outline is like a roadmap and kind of that way I can write the story and if I deviate too far from what I think the story should be, I can go back to the roadmap and say, okay, I took a detour, now it's gonna take me back to the main road. So that's what the outline's for. For sure, Chris, Dolly rocks and puts the ZAZZLE in the ZAZZLE store. She really does work with me. Yes. I don't know about flowcharts, Audrey, but I do know how everything fits. So yeah, 20 minutes left. Yeah, I'm gonna start phasing into the questions, Craig, for sure. And I'm getting hit with more questions. So yeah, Malcolm, I think yeah, Malcolm gave everyone a heads in the mob for the ending of Dark Glass. So for sure, that was good of you, Malcolm, because I knew there was gonna be a little bit of a tsunami happening. Oh, Mark wants to know if the threads, their release date for the designers. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, I don't know. Next year sometime. They're gonna be woven in. The characters Sid Rat and Nina will be making appearances in the Malcolm in the Mountain Strong, but I don't know if they're gonna when their series starts coming out. So yeah, I like Davina. Yeah. So it's just yeah, you just kind of when you're in the art, you kind of get to see the impending wave coming. So this is so true, Chris, because I'm so used to having her here next to me. So yeah, if you want something designed and you tell me, you might as well not want it designed. Now you want something designed and you tell Dolly, it'll come. You'll find it in the ZAZZLE store because she does amazing work. Like she takes all the artwork, all that stuff you see in the ZAZZLE store. In the ZAZZLE store, that's Dolly putting it together. Yeah, yeah, Dan. CPR is coming really soon. Okay, let's see. Vivian, I can't help it. I'm so used. She's like right here next to me all the time. So yeah. See, but even that, Malcolm. So the Peaches incident, I messed that up because I said Craig the Dragon, and she thought I was referring to someone, and she put the name in, so Craig's name was in twice. So once again, I take full responsibility for that because she was awesome. She found the random number generator. I was just gonna roll die. I was like, hey, deal with it. So that's right. All right, let's get into the questions because we got about 15 minutes, and I want to hit the questions. We got actually 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So let's do that because it's 10 minutes after the usual. So 25 minutes in. All right, let's start with the questions. Audrey, the question queen, as she has been dubbed, asks, do I have any favorite foods? Wow, I do. If you know me and you know my heritage, which is Dominican, we have this thing. One of my favorite foods that I used to when Dolly and I used to go to the gym back before the pandemic, would come back from the gym, and we'd have this thing called mango, and salchichon, which is in Spanish. It's a plantain paste. So you take plantains, you boil them in salt water, you add a little bit of oil, and that will keep you full for most of the day. And then salchichon is just basically sausage, like, but the sausage is like this big, cut into discs, and those are fried. And then there's a special cheese that's also fried, but you can't have too much of that. I mean, you won't eat for the whole day. With scrambled eggs, and the plantains are covered in pink onions, which Dolly always gets mine too. So we'd get two orders. She'd have her onions, and then she'd have my onions. And but it's so good. It's so good. And that's called a in Spanish it's called a desayuno de campesino, which is, to translate, it's a breakfast for the a field worker, for the people who work out in the land, because it keeps you full for the whole day, basically. Like that would be the only meal you'd have for the whole day. So that would be one of my favorite, and that and steak, but it has to be a certain kind of steak. It's steak with onions and rice and beans. It's a very Latin thing. So yeah, that would be my favorite food. And not coffee, but although coffee transcends food. Let's see. Mark, what does Mark say? You're killing me. You introduce such great side characters like Master Yacht, Honor, Sid Ray. Well, that's the whole point of side characters. They shouldn't just be decoration, Mark. They should be awesome. And all my side characters have their own stories. But it wasn't always that way. Just read Spiritual Warriors. See how many side characters are in that. Oh, Malcolm. That incident. That incident almost got me killed. So what Malcolm is referring to, I don't know what book it was. It's Silver Cloud's Dirty Sky, I think it was, book 4, where it looked like I killed Peaches in one of the stories. And that nearly got me killed. Bye, Davina. Have a great rest of your day. Say hi to Ayrton, please. Bye, Mary Lane. Have a great day and a great weekend. So, yeah, Malcolm, that incident almost got me killed. I it wasn't that I wanted to kill Peaches. I just kind of had the story going that direction, but that was like, whoa, don't touch the dog ever. And then the second time I did it, I was just being cheeky, as they say. But everyone knew I wouldn't hurt Peaches. There's one character that has plot armor in all of Monty and Strong, it's Peaches. So, ah, Maury's Maury would be good to have. I haven't considered Maury having a short story. She made her initial appearance in the story about Peaches getting obedience lessons, a proper hellhound, and she was awesome in that. But it was a short story. I don't know if I can give Maury a short story. I have to give her a novella type story. So it's possible. Possible. All right. Yes, Patricia, I agree. Peaches has to stay alive. Peaches is the star of all the stories, so he has to stay alive. All right, next question from Audrey. Also, favorite playwright. Let's see. I have a tie for this one because that's a tough one. I would have to say, and favorite play of the playwright. Okay, this is because of what I did in school, so we're going way back. This is just counting things like Hamilton and current things that are just awesome right now. But to go back, I'd have to say Tennessee Williams, Streetcar Named Desire, because of Stella. But Tennessee Williams was required reading, and we actually had to do a lot of that in class. And I think I did Raisin in the Sun 3 times throughout my scholastic life. So Hansberry, Raisin in the Sun. Raisin in the Sun was an amazing play, and I did it 3 times, 3 different ways. Had 3 great different teachers for that. So I would say that. But I mean, there's so many. Wilson does great plays. There's so many great plays out there that, I mean, let's go back to Shakespeare. And I can base everything on that. So, and all of Shakespeare's plays. I think I like them all, even the ones that seem a little quirky. So there you go. All right, let's see. Malcolm asks, Other than Peaches, have any other characters surprised you? Dex surprised me. Dex for me was a throwaway character. Like when I introduced him, I didn't think he was going to play such a large role in the Monty and Strong world because he's Uncle Dex. He comes in, he's gonna be a little quirky. Everyone has a quirky uncle, and but he wasn't gonna be such an instrumental role initially. But then once he was in the story and the character started developing, I started seeing him more as a mentor for Monty, and he's just a fun character to write because he's kind of the opposite of Monty and Monty's dad. If you read later on, he's very much on the fringe, and through that you get to meet the 10, you get to meet rogue mages, you get to meet the Morrigan. So Dex is a gateway to the craziness and the fun of the mage world, but he's also very dangerous. So he really surprised me. That character and the character development surprised me. Yeah. Yeah, see, Malcolm, there's always a quirky uncle, and so Dex always tries to have these teachable moments, but he's hard to take seriously because even though he's gonna tell Monty you shouldn't do that, you should do it this way, he's guilty of doing it the wrong way on so many different occasions that his arguments don't hold water. So he tries to be proper, but yet he's dating the Morrigan, which you have to be kind of psycho to do to begin with. So Dex is a really fun character. Yeah, Dex is gonna be a walk-in, walk-out. He was gonna make a cameo, and but then his first appearance, I think he's naked or something. So that just from the onset, you already know what kind of character he is. Audrey says, "Ask when we find out more about Dex and the Morgan's relationship." I don't know. There's not much more to find out. He's on the fringe, and she's the chooser of the slain. There's not much more to find out. I mean, I can allude to more stuff, but it's kind of good to have the mystery there with their relationship. It's pretty awesome. Greg asks, wondering if a dark phase is needed for truly powerful mages. That's a question that gets answered in Walking the Razor. Rebecca, welcome. Darren, welcome. Let's see. Next question. Oh, I believe this is Barbara. The favorite book I've written, because I told myself I was going to write it down. Okay, favorite book I've written. Wow. That's a really hard question, Barbara. And I gave myself some time to think about it. But every book that I've written, I enjoy something about it. I don't have a book that I can look back on and go, oh, I wish I never wrote that book. Every book that I've written, I've enjoyed something about it. Some more than others, but it's like asking which one is your favorite child. You can't. It's hard. I can't. If I had to pick like the favorite series, obviously I would say Monty and Strong, because that series for me has had the most growth. But the favorite book is, I can't do a favorite book. I guess a favorite series definitely Monty and Strong, without a doubt, because Monty and Strong, so much came out of Monty and Strong, and that's why it's my favorite series. And so, but even within that, there's so many areas and facets to Monty and Strong that it's pretty much evergreen. I can keep writing stuff in the Monty and Strong world indefinitely, and from different angles, not just Monty and Strong. So, where is Ezra? That is a really good question, Rebecca. I'm surprised you're the first one to ask. Where is Ezra? Good question, which I'm not answering. So, but that's a good question. It'll get answered in the next book. All right, so hello, Elaine. Welcome. Mystery romance. No details. Shut up. Yeah, I don't give details for romance. I don't write romance. I really don't give details of romance. You guys, by now, 11 books in, you have not seen Roxanne or Monty kiss, or Simon or Michigo kiss. Although Simon and Michigo kissing might be lethal for Simon. So, yeah, no. Darren wants to know, can we have some short stories about Hades Valkyries? They're not actually Hades Valkyries. They're on loan to Hades, Um, See, I don't know. The Valkyries have been done in so many different ways and so many different iterations that it's hard to do a story in the original. But I can think about it. Let me think about it. It sounds like an interesting concept, Aaron, for sure. Chris says I have favorite quotes, but not books. Yeah, I have a lot of favorite quotes. My books, I read my books like when I'm doing the stuff for Instagram and I'm plucking quotes out. I'm even I go like I wrote that because some of them are just so good. It's like whoa. Yes, they would, Darren. They would have lots of tales. See, I could do a Hades story, even though Hell Hath No Fury was a lot of Hades, and maybe a short story with Hades, and then we can touch upon the Valkyries. John Helms, welcome. Mary Beth Wright wants to know what was the first book I ever wrote. The first book I ever wrote that will never be published was called The General Contractor, and you'll never see that book in print because it's horrible. The first book I ever wrote that was published is The Spiritual Warriors, and that one is part of a 5 book series. Back when I thought 5 book series were cool, I don't think that anymore. But yeah, 5 books, Spiritual Warriors, cast of hundreds, I think. Everything but the kitchen sink, and then at the end, I think I threw the kitchen sink in there. So yeah. Chris wants to know how's the knee. The knee is let's see. Last night was an interesting evening of not sleeping, but I think I'm just picking up some vibrational stuff. It's swollen. Let me see. But I still have full range of motion. It's slow, but it's still there. So as long as I have full range of motion, I'm good. I'll just have to move a little slower. That's all. Hi, Linda. It's okay to be late. You got like 12 minutes. If you guys have questions, there's a time to ask them. Bye bye, Rebecca. It was great of you to pop in. Back to the salt mines. Please be careful out there. Be safe. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, even if only for a few minutes. Yeah, I have favorite quotes. Maybe we should do that, Chris. The favorite M&S world quotes. Let's see. Like you have the mob put that out. Like we start a little thread of what are your favorite Monty and Strong quotes. You can't really say books unless you're Craig. Craig is gonna have a definite preference for book 6 of the Monty and Strong series. But um, definitely favorite quotes. We can have hundreds of those because there's just so many of them. Like I have an inexhaustible supply of quotes just from going back to the books that I can put up on Instagram because it's just that many. Then I wonder who wrote all this stuff. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's pretty because I'm thinking Two Yards and Butterfly was 2012. I want to say it's like 8 years ago. No, Spiritual Warriors was years. Two Yards and Butterfly is like 2016, 2017. So 3 to 4 years ago. It's like whoa, yeah. Oh, Dan, I'm glad you enjoy it. I apologize for the hill hugger ending, but Walking the Razor will be soon. See, that's one of the reasons I used to do that in every book. Put the first chapter of the next book in the at the end of each book, and I thought, and I hadn't done it for a few books, but I thought it would be a good idea to put the first chapter of Walking the Razor in Dark Glass, only because of the way Dark Glass is. So yeah. Malcolm wants to know, do you think one of your characters, also known as Peaches, would be more famous than you? Never. So first of all, I never thought my characters would become famous. I never intended to become famous. I don't even think I'm famous now. There are people who know me in a very small circle, let's say urban fantasy, but I don't consider myself famous. But I have no problem with any of my characters becoming more famous than me. That's why I'm an author and not an actor, because I don't really seek fame. Now my characters become well, yeah, that's awesome, but I have no issue with it. And even in my life, I have no problem giving people credit for the stuff that they do. So it's never been an issue. Stacy, take care. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there, please. Okay, wear your mask. Darren says, "Do you ever drink tea, or is it always Death Wish?" Darren, read the chapter. For now, it's always Death Wish. This is Death Wish. black. I used to drink tea, then but I always drank coffee. Then I got heavily into writing, and the tea was not effective. I became Death Wish, and once I discovered Death Wish, tea was just not gonna happen. So I did. I just only, and that's about a good 3 years now. I think 2 years. Yeah. If Dolly were here, she'd be able to say exactly how long it's been. Was chapter one in the shred? That's a good question, Malcolm. I don't remember if chapter one was in the shred. I don't think so. I think chapter one was added after the shred because I had it already, and I knew the response the ending of Dark Glass was gonna get, and I think I added chapter one after the shred to the final book. So, but yeah, I think it was afterwards. So you should read the end of the book if you haven't read it, because chapter one of Walking the Razor is in there. Oh yeah, I understand coffee here in the U.S. So, but Death Wish is coffee. Death Wish is what coffee drinks when it needs a pickup. That's how strong Death Wish is. Death Wish is what coffee drinks to wake up. Put it that way. So yeah, Death Wish faces the need for sleep, as Malcolm says. Oh, see, this might be the only time, Craig, that Monty drinks coffee, Death Wish coffee, because he's dark. And that will really scare the heck out of Simon, because Monty never drinks coffee. He always drinks tea. So that might be the only time he drinks coffee, and then call it weak. Like, what is this weak substance? It's not strong enough. That'll be fun. Either that, or I gotta find a super super dark, powerful tea that's stronger than Earl Grey, because that's what Monty usually drinks. But he might lose the taste for Earl Grey. So we'll have the mob come up with ideas for the UK mob, those of you that drink tea, come up with an idea for really really dark tea or really really strong tea. You know, or from the flask. Well, I think coffee. I think, well, yeah. If he drinks from the flask, it's gonna be like tea to him, but that's supercharged tea. I don't recommend him drinking too much of it. But will he care? No, he will not. But I think if we find a really powerful tea that he could switch from Earl Grey to that while he's dark, or just Death Wish. I think Death Wish should be awesome. That he drinks Death Wish. English breakfast tea. See, I don't know any of these teas. I think some of them have alcohol in them, right? So I know some of the teas have alcohol in them. We'll run a poll in the mob and see what wins out. But I saw that picture of that green jag. Wow. See, that so says Monty. Oh, man. I'll let you guys deal with your tea clashes. This is why I see coffee is coffee. We don't deal with English tea, Irish tea. Coffee is just coffee, especially if it's Death Wish. Well, let me correct it. There's Death Wish, and then there's everything else. How's that? Zest tea. There you go. See, that's like, Barbara. That's great, but that's not even close to Death Wish. Death Wish has insane amounts of milligrams of caffeine. Pat, high caffeine. Welcome, Pat. Good morning. Oh yeah, that would be great. I think that's something that we should explore, Darren. That he would drink coffee and get jittery or something. But see, the thing, he wouldn't get jittery because he's dark now, Dark Mountain. Oh my God, the possibilities of Darth and Sith and going to the dark side. Simon's never gonna let him live this down. Never, ever. Because Simon's just gonna be saying Darth Monty, and he's gone to the dark side, and whoa, the whole that whole speech that the Emperor gives. I feel the hate inside you. Yes, let it flow. I can just hear Simon saying all of that. So high calf before yeah, well, I can see her needing it before teaching for sure. I used to know people who would drink coffee before training, and we're talking at my hour, which was 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. They would have a good 10 ounces of coffee, black coffee, before training. There are some studies that say drinking caffeine before training is good for you. I couldn't drink anything at that hour, but yeah. No, the sorrows will not turn red. They probably turn closer to black, or at least the runes would. They would transform as well. They're directly impacted by Monty's state as a mage. So they also will go through a transformation. Dark side Monty, yes. Well, Monty, listen, you saw, if you haven't seen the cover for Walking the Razor, it's in the Monty. It's awesome. First of all the cover is done by Deranged, but that one really, Darth Tristan. Oh no, Malcolm, it's gonna be all the lines, all the lines. Simon's gonna break them all. I know they're still good in you. I can sense it. It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be a Star Wars reprisal. Yeah, that's exactly his line when he gives himself up to Darth Vader. He surrenders. Right before he gets taken off the Ewok planet. I know there's still good in you. I can sense it. So that's gonna be, yeah. Simon's gonna have a field day because they do have that whole Star Wars Star Trek rivalry between them. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. You guys can get. In fact, there's so many things we need to do for Walking the Razor. We need to have and we also need to have the best quote. We need to find out tea or coffee, and we need to have some of the best Star Wars lines, so that we can start throwing them into Walking the Razor and start using them. Because Simon's going to become insufferable when it comes to the lines he's going to use. Yeah, Chris, I agree that it's an addictive drug, and after a lifetime of drinking it, it takes more and more. Or we could just have one cup of Death Wish. I don't think my body has adjusted to the amount of caffeine in Death Wish. So every time I drink it, it's like, wow. No, he can't have. You're right, Darren. He can't have an "I'm your father" moment, but he could definitely reference it. He could always say, "I'm not your father," or something like that. Trust me, Simon is gonna be the smart assery is gonna come out. Oof, it's gonna be so much fun. Oh, but on that note, someone now that I say that, it brought this to mind. Someone said that Simon is just too much of a smart ass, and so he starts to get annoying after a while. So I'd definitely like to hear your take on it before we close today. What you guys think about that? Not that he's gonna change. That's just his character. And a lot of people have pointed out that that is the way Simon deals with fear, which is what a lot of people do. When they're confronted with something that scares them, they're smart ass about it, or they use humor, which is what our natural inclination is, humor to deal with the fear. But someone has said it was getting to be too much. It's interesting. Let's see. Feel the power of the fully operational plasma bolt. Oh yeah, it's like I hope I'm not spoiling it. You know how Monty alludes to not watching Highlander, but yet manages to like quote the lines from the movie. He's gonna be doing a lot of that for sure. Linda, yeah, listen, if you okay, don't do what I did, Linda. Linda says she should try Death Wish because caffeine doesn't usually affect her. Don't do what I did. I got my first. shipment of Death Wish, and it arrived like at 7 o'clock at night. And I said, "How powerful can this thing be? It can't be that powerful." And I made a. Back then I was using the K cups, so I made a cup of Death Wish, and I was up all night, like wide awake, not even like jittery. I was wide awake. So if you're gonna do that, don't do it at night. Yes, Barbara. See, okay. Simon is not necessarily. I guess it's considered snarky. We gotta end soon because it's time has passed. I really love talking to you guys. So it's not that Simon is snarky, even though that's what it has become snarky. Simon is a smartass thrust into a world that he doesn't understand and copes by trying to be funny, rebellious. So it's not so much, and I guess if that's called snark, that's snark. For me, snarky is a little bit more, um, I guess, sarcastic, rude type thing. But Simon doesn't come across that way. Simon, what he's doing is he's dealing with all these unknowns in the only way he knows how, and that's through these comments and these ways of being. So I know it can come across for one reader, it came across as irritating. I was like, boy, if that's gonna irritate you, you're gonna have a hard time with like Peaches because his main thing is meat is life. And I've had people say, "This, why is he always meat? Why is he always talking about sausage?" And clearly, when people ask me that question, clearly these people are not animal owners. Because what dogs and cats and especially dogs, dogs will eat all day if you let them. So, yeah, you know, it is what it is, as it said. Mark, you're late. You're so late. We're leaving. Exactly, Craig. The smartassery, we'll call it, is what is, if you put yourself in his position, it's either be a smartass or lose your mind. So he opts not to lose his mind, but he has to be a smart. He has to deal with it somehow, and he's being asked to do things that completely upend his his understanding of the world. And so the best way to deal with that is through his smartassery. What he has done is says, okay, I'm going to accept this, but I'm not going to accept this willingly, and I'm not going to be quiet about it. So I'm going to say what's on my mind, and I'm going to say it the way I say it. I'm going to say it as an outsider, and so he's going to be a smartass. All right, let me start wrapping up because if not, we'll be here all day. So Instagram, please find us at Bitten Peaches. You'll see the quotes about the books. Like us and follow us there, please. Also, I think the quotes also show up on the Bitten Peaches Facebook page. So they're linked. So if you see it on the Facebook page, you know it's going to be on the Instagram page. YouTube, The Amazing Technomancy by Chris Mendoza. Like, follow, and share, please. So like subscribe, follow, subscribe, and share the YouTube page so we can get our numbers up. And over time, that starts creating more and more traffic for the YouTube channel. So that's awesome. So please find us on YouTube. We have 1,300 people in the mob, and I know not everyone is active, but let's start getting some of those people over to our YouTube channel so we can have even more people. And the ZAZZLE store. If you want awesome swag, Dolly is making some awesome swag. If there's something you don't see in the ZAZZLE store, shoot Dolly a PM, and she might be able to create it for you. She's awesome that way. So if there's something in the ZAZZLE store you don't see but you'd like to see, send Dolly a PM asking her if it's possible. Yeah. Yeah, Mark, can I tell you, this is what we do on Fridays, every other Friday. Our next one is going to be the 28th. Tell them you need to be here for an hour. Okay, Mark? If not, give me the number. I'll call them and tell them you need to be here for an hour. And that way they'll give you the time off so you can hang out with us. You're very welcome. On behalf of myself and Dolly, because Dolly's out driving right now. So on behalf of myself and Dolly, thank you guys for being here, being so awesome. Listen, we're still in the middle of pandemic. Walk, I have a mask, one of my masks. See, so walk around, keep your mask nearby, especially if you're in this country who that hasn't handled this crisis too well. Mask, clean your hands, maintain your social distance. If you have to be in a crowd, really wear your mask. But if you can avoid the crowd, please do so. Use your common sense. Be smart about it. And not only are you protecting yourself, but you're protecting people in your life. So if you have to go out, stock up as much as you can, and make your trips out as little as possible. Yes, as Chris says, regarding our YouTube channel, it's just a few clicks for you. You hit subscribe and then bell, and you're done. So, guys, stay safe. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, I'll go over there and tell them. Sure, I'll just pop over. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. Hug your loved ones because it's always a good thing to do, and be excellent. And I'll see you guys in the room. And our next Monty coffee clutch will be the 28th. Have a great.
We are live.